Hello, welcome back. Today we're going to talk about how we can go about troubleshooting CX dashboards and continue our series on troubleshooting CX dashboards. Today though, we're going to move up to level 2 where we're going to discuss common things that happen in dashboard settings that affect how data shows up on your dashboard. Now, if you didn't watch this video up here, I highly recommend you stop this one, watch that one, as that deals with level 1 of troubleshooting CX dashboards, where there's some configuration in your survey that prevents the data from flowing through to the dashboard as expected. Usually, the case is that the data is missing from your survey, and then as a result, the dashboard has nothing to process, nothing to grab, so the data is then also missing on your dashboard. When you move up to level 2 with dashboard setting problems, things become a little bit more complicated, where there are a couple things that could be happening to prevent the data from showing up as expected on your dashboard, even though it does exist on the survey itself. Now, with that all being said, let's hop into an example dashboard and take a look at what's going on. So, as we saw in the first example on the last video, we have two widgets here where one of them shows the data as we expect and one of them doesn't. Now, in the last video, we got this data to show up by adding data to location data in our survey. And the way we did that was to first head into the dashboard settings, then open up the source here, double check our data analysis tab, and then make sure that location data is pulling through in the data analysis tab itself. And in this case, I added a few values in here, so it should be pulling through. There's no reason why location data should be missing, since it's set up the exact same way as location, where it has Google here, YouTube here, LinkedIn here, Google here, YouTube there. But for some reason, when we head over to the widget, it's not pulling through at all. Now, in scenarios like this, when you do check the survey and data is pulling in here, but it's not pulling through in the dashboard, the next thing you're always going to want to check is the dashboard settings themselves to make sure that 1, this is mapped, and 2, this is mapped to the correct field type. So in this scenario, what you're going to want to do is head back to the dashboard settings, head to the dashboard data section, and then we're going to look for that particular field, location data. And then almost right away, you can see the problem here. Location, the one that's pulling in data, let me duplicate this so we can have a side-by-side comparison. So location, the one that's pulling in data, is mapped in here, but location data is not mapped. So the very first thing we're going to do is map location data, save this, and then we can double check to see if that pulls in the information we're looking for. So now if we head back to this dashboard and then refresh, the dashboard is going to go through an update where it'll make this change on the back end, and then in a couple seconds or so, maybe like a minute, then we should see the update process and finish, and we'll see if location data does pull through. So I'm gonna put this on pause, and then in a minute from now, once this guy is complete, then we can take a look to see if location data does pull through. All right, so it looks like this is complete, and I'm gonna refresh to make 100% sure. And now we're still in the same situation where location data, oh, well, I guess not 100% complete just yet. It's gonna do these last seconds of processing, and then we should be good to go. Refresh one last time. All right. Probably gonna need like 5 more. Perfect. So now it's 100% complete. Just to confirm, I'm gonna refresh again. Okay, perfect. So now it's 100% complete, but we're still in the predicament where location data isn't pulling through anything. We check the dashboard here, it's mapped, but for some reason, it's not pulling through any data. So we'll look at it one more time just to confirm that it's still mapped. Yep, mapped just fine, just like this guy, but it's not pulling any data in. Now the reason for this is due to the fact that this is configured under the wrong field type. So if we head back into the survey, we can see that location data is names. So it's like Google, YouTube, LinkedIn. I think those are the only three. So Google, YouTube, LinkedIn. These names aren't numbers, as is coded in here for the field type. So these two field types are incompatible, and for that reason, when we go back to the dashboard, it doesn't know what to pull in and just pulls in nothing. Now if we change this field type in here to a text set, and then save this, then this data should pull in as expected. So now if we go back to the dashboard in here and then refresh, same idea as before. I'm gonna put this on pause so that the dashboard can reset, refresh, do its thing, and then we'll come back to it and then take a look to see if the data pulls in. But once we change it to the correct field type, to one that's compatible with the data that's being entered, the data should pull in from the survey to the dashboard exactly as we'd expect. All right, so it looks like it's finishing up, but exactly as we expected, the location data is starting to pull through in here. So now that we changed things in the dashboard settings, so that this guy's a text set instead of being a number set like it was before, we'll see here that the location data does actually pull through. And that's due to the fact that for things to pull through correctly into the dashboard, one, it needs to be mapped, but two, it needs to map with a compatible field type that matches what's being entered in the survey. So in this case, if you're entering text, it wouldn't really make sense to add a field type that's a numeric value, a number set, or a date. You'd opt for the ones that are text field types so that this pulls through as expected and the platform knows what the data is. Otherwise, you'll get what we had before when the data just wasn't read and wasn't really registered since the platform didn't know how to read it. Now to recap, when things aren't pulling through to the dashboard, but they are pulling through in the survey, after you double check to make sure that information does exist in the survey, you want to check two things. One, that the information is mapped to the dashboard accordingly. You're going to want to make sure that one, the field exists in here, that you've mapped this correctly to the correct field, and then you'll also want to double check that the field type makes sense for what's pulling into the survey. Then, once you do that, you'll be good to go and the data should flow into the dashboard exactly as you expect. But if it doesn't, that means that you've done your due diligence, check these two levels, and it's probably something that's happening on the page or widget filters, which we'll go into in the follow-up videos to this video to wrap up the series with these last three levels. Hope that clarifies things. If you guys have any additional questions, concerns, or anything else you want to go over, please let me know in the comment section below. This is, of course, one of the trickiest parts of Qualtrics, individual troubleshooting, as there are a lot of moving pieces and a lot of moving parts, and it can definitely be tricky to get them all to work together to get your data to show up as expected. But as always, please feel free to reach out in the comment section if you would like to clarify anything or stuck on a particular section of this video. Thank you guys for watching. I look forward to seeing you guys in the next video as we go over page filters, then widget filters, then role data restrictions to wrap up the series. Thank you guys for watching. I look forward to seeing you again soon in the next video. Take care.